part two, because I'm Mr. Clumsy. I'm Mr. Clumsy Guy. So today we're doing my mukbang, my first mukbang for my first birthday. If you don't want to have a second birthday, that's on you. I choose to have two, so hell yeah. Gonna be eating some chicken wings. Some of the birthday I'm gonna be celebrating later on. I feel like today is it's actually kind of an important day. It is one of the first, if not the first. What is that? Oh, okay, because we changed date. Okay, perfect. Sorry, Art Night calls, and when Art Night calls, you answer the call. Yeah, I do feel like it's a special day, but it's more so when the day is finished that we're gonna be celebrating, right? Because like, okay, well, this was a good day. I call me pessimistic, right? And I hope you don't, but if you would, I feel like you have to enjoy the whole day, not the fact that it's your birthday. So anyway, I had two subjects for today, two subjects for two different mukbang. What it feels like to be 22 years old, what it feels like, and the second one is the Matrix. Now, because we have this is my first technically video of the day. It's the first video we filmed on the 22. I want to take my time. I want to enjoy those wings. So we are going to be talking about Matrix, the Matrix. Now, why am I talking about the Matrix? Actually, quite simple. The Matrix is one of the most interesting movie that I ever saw. And wait a sec. There you go. Two headphones. The Matrix for the movie. I don't know. To me, it feels like it deserved more shining. It deserved more light than just a small video for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. Just talked to my girlfriend today, and she's like, "Yo, you're filming way too much," and she's right. But today's my hurrah. Today's my birthday. Let's fucking do it. And I wanted to do my first mukbang, with the Matrix. Let's fucking break the rules, right? And the reason for the Matrix is because we're doing more than just talking about the movie. We're talking about the concept that are seen. We're talking about the history of the Matrix. So I want to take my time. I want to take my time eating. I want to take my time with you guys because I think it's important. But first of all, let's fucking go. I'm extremely excited. They're amazing. They're really, really amazing. Possibly some of the best one you've had. Not napkin, but half of the job. So, what is the Matrix? Now, the problem with the Matrix is we only saw the first movie. We watched it on Netflix. On Netflix, the first movie is available. And number 3, no. Right? But, really speaking, I think the first movie is possibly the most important. And the third movie, when you meet the maker, ultimately very, very important. But in the first one, we're exploring. This is a bit too. I can't see the screen, and I can't see when I'm finished or not. We're having both ears with music, so when I come here, I'm gonna lower it just a little bit. Because when we lower it, what happens is you actually see the screen, and when you see the screen, you actually can tell without focusing on this. You can tell by this. So the Matrix was a movie that was huge in the 90s. When I was young, it was very huge. It's a good movie, don't get me wrong. But the Matrix is only as good as how much you understand of it. If you think it's a movie with nothing on the surface, it's okay. Right? It's okay. If you understand the concept that are presented, possibly the best movie I've ever saw. Possibly the best movie I've ever saw. The problem with the Matrix is it explored deeper thinking. It explores deeper sense of thought. It explores study of psychology. But it's a lot questions. It's a lot question and there's no answer, right? So a lot of people they wanna relax when they watch a movie. They don't want to ask questions. The Matrix does not do that. So story of the Matrix. I think there's a lore before the Matrix that we have to go. Now, the desire here is not to offend people. The desire here is not to make people mad, right? It's a gorgeous day. This beautiful weather outside. The Matrix is the second coming of Christ. Neo is the second coming of Christ. Now, I know what you're saying. Ink, that's crazy. You're crazy, dude. No. The writer wanted to describe it as the second coming of Christ. Right? And it's weird because do I believe that it is? No. But when you understand that, it's kind of crazy. Right? So, I'm smacking because somebody was gonna watch this and she's not gonna like it. So, my girl's gonna hate it that I'm, how did she call it? I forget how she called it. She called it, sapping. Yeah. Not sap, fuck off. On purpose. So, I think the beautiful thing is Matrix is actually a sequel. So we'll have to stop here. We'll have to tell our Tokyo Ghoul. Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to another show. I'm doing well on this 22, whatever you want to call it, January 2025. My freaking birthday, and that's why we're gonna play the Tokyo Ghoul, baby. I want to apologize for lack of content yesterday. Our phone was broken, and this other phone didn't have the space to download both Arknight and both Tokyo Ghoul. Now, I don't prefer Arknight to Tokyo Ghoul, but there's more content to Arknight. And this is a really good event right now that I want to take advantage of. So instead of taking a day off a game that I could take a week off, I take a day off of a game I take months off at a time, but not right now. So today we're filming the mukbang of my birthday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys on the side. I'm going to be chilling with you guys, going to hear me talk. We're talking Matrix today, which is really, really, really good. And that's pretty much the day. We have a lot to do, but we have a shit ton of time, so you do not have to worry, friends. Sorry about this. So, funnily enough, the Matrix at the very beginning is and it's very weird. It is very weird. It is the sequel to Terminator, which is insanity. Why? Well, there's a couple of reasons why. So, it's funny. I think I do believe strongly there's so many. Bro, we broke the phone yesterday and I already make it fall. I do believe that there's so many ways to see Terminator. Now, Terminator, weirdly speaking, right? Weirdly speaking, is a lot simpler than Matrix. The Matrix is shining through its complicity, its complexity. Terminator is simple. A robot from the future come back, right? And sorry, I'm watching MasterChef season 10, and it's just emotional. It's a beautiful show, right? And it's free on YouTube on More Nick channel. It is 16 hours of great content. The Matrix is very complicated, very complex. Terminator is super easy, but on paper, yes. On the principle, it's very hard. So Terminator, a robot from the past, comes in and kills or try to kills John Connor. Why? Because John Connor is the Messiah, right? John Connor, the Messiah, the leader of the Resistance, right? Now, I forget the relationship between John Connor and Neo, right? But they're both the main character. So, you think the main character is Sarah Connor? You think the main character is Arnold? Is John? Now, ultimately, the Terminator relies on one very, very simple thing. We created AI. AI took over. AI was supposed to protect the human being. Understood that the only way to destroy the human beings was to kill them. Right? I'm like, holy shit. And then what you realize is that we created that, right? So we were master of our own demise. We were master of our own apocalypse. Now, the really cool thing here, the most important thing is understanding that because we're doing that, the timeline, the right future, we're talking about multiverses, a timeline, right? And the powerful thing that you see here is like, holy shit, this is the timeline where we die, we don't survive, right? But there's a resistance, and that resistance is led by a John Connor. So the whole movie, you're like, holy shit. Holy shit. And I know I'm reading myself, but it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful because when you realize that this is supposed to be... it's supposed to be a analogy or a comparison to God. Absolutely amazing. So you're taking the Terminator, right? And you send it back to time. And ultimately speaking, you do send it back to time with one person, a guy named Kyle. Now, who's Kyle? Sir Wizard Tree, one of my best friends. Who's Kyle? Kyle Brokowski from South Park. Kyle is a guy from the future, and he's supposed to save Sarah Connor. Why? Because she's the mother of John Connor. If he doesn't save her, it's not born. If John isn't born, the future is doomed, right? Now, during the movie, right, Kyle and Sarah have sex. And then you realize that the father of John was Kyle. But here's where the tricky part is. Kyle went back to the past to save John, but he went to the past to create John, right? Now, why is that so special? Why is that so special? Because without the Terminator, there wouldn't be a need for Kyle to go back. So without the apocalypse, there would be a need for the second coming of Christ. Now, ultimately speaking, we know the Bible, right? And we know that Jesus came from Mary, and Joseph, right? But we know that Joseph wasn't really the father. It was Immaculate Misconception, or conception. Sorry. A little bit too much of mustard and white, you know? So you're like, holy shit. He was born by a lot. And I mean, if you see, we can see another character that was like that. Anakin Skywalker. Anakin Skywalker doesn't have a father. He was born by the Force, right? So you realize that there's a lot of characters out there that are directly an image of Jesus. I believe that they really, truly convey the spirit of the Christ. Not really, but still. Now, Terminator is very important because of that. Now, in Terminator, a couple of things that are super important were against the robot. The robot die, right? We win. We don't win. In the Matrix, the world is led by machine. So we did win. The only one who can win is Neo. Right? So the story of the Matrix is actually really, 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 really important. A guy called Neo. It's recruited by a guy called Morpheus. Now, I don't know what Morpheus is supposed to represent. Is it a prophet? I don't know. They'll tell him he's living in a simulation. Now, before we even start, this movie was made in 1999. Amazing movie. It looks really, really, really good. Keanu Reeves? You kidding me? Fucking good. We were eating, but I don't have a time otherwise. We're celebrating. So, it's not because Neo. Okay, so they're living in a almost weird, because Neo is started the movie not believing them. And then he has to take 2 pills, right? And there's multiple reference. Oh, for fuck's sake, Ink. After you wonder how you break it, because you're a fucking dumbass. There's multiple reference to Alice in Wonderland. Now, Alice in Wonderland was in multiple way life-changing. So Alice in Wonderland is the story of a dumb blonde that falls in a hole and discovers another world, right? But she's not a dumb blonde. She is not necessarily chosen. She fell into a hole, and in that hole she fell, she saw a talking buddy, a talking cat, a kingdom, right? And in the kingdom, she realized that it's another reality. Now, the insane thing, which reality is real? In reality, what we told you, what you saw, what you lived through, right? One of my favorite game ever. One of my favorite game ever is Majora's Mask. Right? Now, the great thing with Majora's Mask is, on paper, the reason why it's so similar to the first game, which is Ocarina of Time, which is Hyrule, is because they released Ocarina of Time a year before the Nintendo 64 was over. And we worked so hard on the system, we want to put out another game. So they reused Fighter People. But at the very same time, Alice is, and always will be, the leader behind it, because she fell into a hole. The main character fell into a hole. See, Alice in Wonderland is the pioneer of Matrix. Why? The title of the movie is Alice in Wonderland, but it's never specified if the Wonderland is the world she was before or the world she see now. Now, I know what you're saying. Ink, she said talking bunny, bro. She said talking bunny, and there's no way that this is the real world. Well, here we are. In the beginning of the movie of Alice in Wonderland, right? In the beginning of the movie, Good. Nobody sees the world. Now we have this book. Now this book was written by a French Canadian writer, Patrick Sénécal, which is Alice in Wonderland. Now this is a very, very, very adult book. It's not porn, but it's similar to porn. So Alice is this girl who she meets people, and those people gives her a lot of drugs, and that drug she fall into a kind of like a wonderful world. But in the reality, she's getting raped, she's getting attacked. So this world is to her better. Now, why am I talking about Alice or this Alice, right? Because at the very beginning, Morpheus, which is the guide of Neo, which is the second coming of Christ, is offered a choice: a blue pill to keep living in a reality where everything is given to you, right? Or the red pill where you're able to fight in live in a real world. Now, ultimately speaking, right? The blue pill, Matrix is such an amazing movie. The blue pill is the easy choice. You want to have a life that you had before, right? And the worst thing is, you see, Morpheus does give two pills. We don't know how much time since he started doing this. We don't know how long he's been fighting the Matrix, right? The Matrix is the world in which Neo first lived in. So, and then you're like, holy shit. The ship has 9 people in it. How many people took the blue pill, right? Was it a dozen? Was it 20? You'll never know. The thing, I think that's a beautiful thing with the Matrix. Now, we're gonna do special. We're gonna finish with the review of the movie, and then we're gonna be talking about the concept of the movie. So, in the beginning is the movie. The first one is actually really good. See, so when I see a trilogy, I of course think about Lord of the Ring, right? My favorite trilogy. I of course talk about something I spoke before, which is the prequel of Star Wars, right? And both ways, we have the exact same thing with the Matrix. So in the first movie of the Lord of the Ring, we're preparing Frodo to have the courage to go on his ship alone. On the first movie of the Star Wars, when it said that Anakin is the leader. On the third movie, which is the Matrix, we understand that Neo is the chosen one, and we train him. Now, ultimately speaking, the first one, the beauty of the movie is Neo is likely the least important character. There's a betrayer. The movie, when you're a kid, you hate the betrayer, but when you're an adult, you understand what the betrayer betrayed. You understand? Morpheus sold them a vision. Morpheus sold them, again, Morpheus being the leader, sold them a vision that wasn't true. He sold them a combat that they couldn't win. They said, you know what? I promise you a promised land. But he didn't promise the promised land. He said, there's a promised land. I'll take you there. But he didn't say the truth. Now, ultimately speaking, I think it's nuts because the Matrix in itself is actually so interesting. You know that Neo is the chosen one, right? You know that Neo is the chosen one. You know that there's machine. You know that ultimately we're victims, right? But then you don't know if Morpheus is right. We don't know. We meet the Oracle, and the Oracle, she tells Neo, you're not the chosen one. But Morpheus believes it. So, like, your whole plan is on Neo being the chosen one, just like Anakin being the chosen one, but you know that Neo might not be the chosen one, so you sacrifice everything, right? The best thing about Matrix is, once again, there's such a good explanation, it's such a good world building. We know what the Matrix is. The Matrix is this made-up world, right? Which is amazing, because it's an alternate reality. And when they're doing that, they're putting people so they can put them in deep sleep, and they're constantly dreaming. And they're putting them in deep sleep because the human is a great form of energy for the machine. They need the batteries, right? So it's nice because you have a good world building. It's not a matter of how shitty the world is. It doesn't matter how complicated the world is, right? But it's more so about the fact that, okay, well, guess what? There's this completely made up world. And the beauty of the Matrix is that the world in itself is very similar to your own. So I was thinking about Alice in Wonderland, right? Which is where I want to go. In Wonderland, there's a talking rabbit, there's a talking cat, so you think, okay, well, there's no way that this is true. There's no way. But in the Matrix, you don't get that. You do not get that jump in reality where this is fake, right? And the funny thing is, Matrix doesn't have to do shit. As long as the common people believe that this is reality, they'll convince each other, right? They'll convince each other. And the movie in itself is amazing because you're seeing Neo. And the best thing about Neo is my favorite character in that movie for 100%. He's being captured just at Trinity. You know, there's a second one. He doesn't know. The first movie isn't I'm going to be the best. The first movie is I'm going to have to fight. 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 And then at the end, he realized that yes, he is a certain one. Not because he thought about it. It's because he couldn't get killed. He resurrected. Because he resurrected, he said like, oh, I'm the chosen one. But this happened in the last sentence of the movie. Right? We believe in a leader that's Morpheus, but Morpheus, if he's wrong, then he's not a leader, he's a liar. So there's a very fine line between I'm leading you to glory or I'm leading you to hell, right? So there's a road, and there are two forks. Now the first fork is promised land. Second fork is hell. Morpheus is the one that leads to say, yo, I don't really know, but let's take the left one just for fun. If he's wrong, you're gonna hate him. If he's right, you're gonna say, yo, he's our leader, you know? That's special. And then, in the first movie, you have a betrayer. But in the betrayer, he's not really a bad guy. He's just a guy that doesn't believe in the vision of Morpheus. So once again, the perceived bad guy is Morpheus. That puts everybody's life in danger, right? The movie in itself rely on two scenes. The first scene is Neo has something in his stomach, which is a machine. The second one is the fact that he's waking up and he's surrounded by all of these robots, all of these capsules of people. Like, holy shit, dude. That's the reason. This is the proof that this is true. But if you don't see those two scenes, you just say that it's not true. Right? Now, the Matrix in itself also relies on belief. And it's weird because when you're saying that Neo was the second coming of Christ in the writer's book, or mine, you realize that the belief is actually super important. You see Jesus walking and telling people, I can save you. People believe him. The apostates all believed him, right? They all believed him. And the weird thing, the really weird thing is in the Bible, there's a guy called Judas who ends up betraying. Right? Now, what people don't know about Judas, which is the betrayer, what people don't know about Judas is they said, if you don't give out Jesus, we'll kill every single one of your friends. The only one that has to die is Morpheus. One that has to die is Jesus, right? They also give him 10 coins, knowing that he cannot feed himself, right? Knowing that he's constantly poor. And they tell him, they ultimately give him the easy life. So I was thinking back about Matrix and the blue pill and the red pill, right? They're basically giving Judas the blue pill. And Judas takes the blue pill because he doesn't believe in the red pill anymore. Now, ultimately, he betrayed Jesus. Ultimately, he's one of the worst villains in history, if you believe in Jesus. But ultimately, he's just a guy that was afraid. He's just a guy that didn't believe hard enough. But the apostates are all of them, they're believer, which is amazing. So the movie of The Matrix does rely a lot. Now, what I like about the movie is when Neo understands that this is a program, and then he can learn things. They put him through 10 hours of learning to fight kung fu and everything like that, and that's really when you understand that Neo understands what is going on, which is important. When I talk about that a lot more later on, because this is the most important thing of the movie, and the movie that completely blew my mind yesterday. My phone was broken yesterday. We watched the movie 2 times. It was so good. My problem is with the agent. The agent is trying to stop Neo. But again, the agent are they wrong. So, basically speaking, right? The agent are trying to stop Neo because Neo is about to reveal the whole truth that this is a simulation. Right? But the weird thing is, the really weird thing is, it's so hard to talk about. It's so hard to talk about because it's deeper thinking, it's inner thinking, it's unbelievable. You're seeing the real world and how shitty it is. How shitty it is. And yes, those are basically humans are basically bred to produce energy for the machines, right? But they're living a normal life. They're living a life where they're working and they're living into a world where ultimately nothing will happen to them. Versus living in a world where you're basically eating shit the whole day because there's no food, there's no animal, there's no plant, there's no vegetable. So, technically speaking, oh my god, holy fuck, this is so complicated. Oh, yeah. Fuck, dude. So, in the beginning of the movie, once again, Morpheus gives Neo two choices: the blue pill and the red pill. The blue pill saying, "What's the life that you had?" Okay. The red pill help us fight the machine. Morpheus give a choice. It doesn't impose a choice. Neo and the gang comes in to destroy the world of the machine. You're imposing a choice. You're imposing the red pill on everybody, right? And then I have to bring another movie in. That other movie is Fight Club. So in Fight Club, the plot, the purpose of the Fight Club is you realize that a bunch of men are pussies. They're pussies. And because a bunch of men are pussies, you're like, okay, well, guess what? We're gonna make them strong again. We're gonna give back our freedom. We're gonna take back the power from government and shit like that. So we're gonna make a very powerful group, which is an anarchist group, which is gonna take over. Now, the funny thing is, in that movie, right, there's a character called Tyler Durden. Now, Tyler Durden, spoiler, doesn't exist. He's in the mind of the narrator. There's no name for the narrator. There's no name. Right? Tyler Durden is a make-believe. Now, the plan of the original narrator, the original plan was good. Creates a powerful race of men who can fight and protect the society. Versus the same race of people who are watching TV and being guided. No. Create smart men that have strength. Create strong women that have mind and can defend the society. Ultimately, create a community or a society where you're not reliant on higher power, which is government, which is authority, right? You rely on each other. See, in the Fight Club, there's people in the Fight Club. All of them are friends, right? They want that for the people. Because right now, you're relying on higher power. You're relying on new president, new president. There's a lot of people called idiocracy. I don't do politics. You're reliant on your boss to get paid. You're reliant on the grocery store to give you food, right? You're also reliant on the police not to stop you or to stop the bad guy from stealing your food. But if I told you that alone you have to survive, how long can you survive? Right? No grocery, no nothing. You can't. Wow. 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 See, Neo by imposing the red pill is actually is actually showing the truth. Like, guys, wake up. But you're also imposing apocalypse. You're also imposing on people to fight back. Now, the thing with the Matrix is the main plot of the book, of the movie, because it's a book first. They're telling you you're enslaved by the machine. If they're saved, they're enslaved by Morpheus or Neo himself. It's a life of choosing fight versus a life of choosing fight versus a life of running away. The guy I'm dating is super smart. We talked about it a little bit. And in psychology, you have two resolutions. The first resolution, I'm watching the Master Chef and it's emotional, right? Those are the people that I have dreams. So like, holy shit. Right? So the funny thing, the really, really, really funny thing is, just fight, the red pill, just fight the blue pills. And that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing. Even then, where 9 people in the ship, there was one traitor. The Judas of Neo. It's a great movie. Now, ultimately, multiple times, I confirm that in the Matrix, right? But another character, the Oracle, the Keymaker, they all choose to live in the Matrix. They all choose to live there. But we're talking about the psychological aspect of it, which is amazing. That movie is so amazing. It makes you think so hard. So, an important character is Trinity. She's love interest, but when we start the movie, Neo doesn't really trust Morpheus. The only one that he trusts is Trinity. This is really, 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 really important, you know? But the beautiful thing is, Neo has lived majority of his life Master baby. The weird thing is, Neo has so many memories, right? So many memories. His whole life was a lie. But I'm gonna ask you a question. And that question is very important. If I told you right now, right here, right now, that you're in the Matrix, that your whole life is a lie, if you had a good life, what's the most important thing? You had a good life, but they lie to you? Or, sorry, I'm watching MasterChef 610, it's amazing. It's a shame because for some people, all of those good memories don't mean nothing because they were lies. Because memory is reliant on your soul, reliant on how you feel, reliant on was the it's tough. Was the emotion better than the lie? Right? You're in a relationship, right? You're in a relationship for 10 years. And your partner cheat on you. And he cheated on you. Or she cheated on you, okay? And they cheat on you once. Only once. I say, fuck you. Cheat on me. Right? I don't care how many times you cheat on me. Now, in fact, does it mean that the last 10 years were lies? No. More were honest, more were truthful. It's not because I'm looking for the blue pills. When you watch a movie, I only watch the first one, okay? Give me a chance. You're supposed to say I would take the red pill. I don't know if I would. See, the good guys explain things like shitty. So they go into Matrix and they go next to a restaurant. And they go to a restaurant and it's a beautiful, 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 beautiful duality. So with Neo, with the good guys, he goes to a restaurant and said, holy shit, I ate there for years. They had amazing, amazing noodle. Are none of my memories true? Are none of my memories reality? Right? And then, and it's beautiful. It's very Star Wars-ish. Neo said, is every memory that I ever had fake? Was my whole life fake? And Trinity answered, Trinity, the love interest, she answered, I don't know. We had the exact same thing with Judas. Judas goes to a restaurant and he's eating with an agent, with the bad guy, and they're eating steak. And this is the best part of the movie. My favorite part. And he's eating a steak. And he has the mentality. Yazzie, he's saying something that really resonates in my soul. Wow. Ultimately speaking, it's such a hard thing because he's not presented with a steak. And he said the following. And I know it by heart because it really resonates with me. He said, it's weird. I know the steak in front of me, I know how it tastes. Like, I do not know if I'm tasting the steak or am I doing what my brain is tasting. And this is something that I've said a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago. It's something I've been saying a long time. Something that I realized with life. For example, I'm going to be drinking energy drinks. And I know there's a smell of a flavor. There's a flavor there. It doesn't matter how it tastes. I know it's a flavor, so my brain is going to reproduce that taste. And I said that, and I said it multiple times. And it's funny, said, I know what it's not supposed to taste like. But my brain is telling me that this is steak. And he doesn't ask the question. And he says, it doesn't matter. I'm enjoying a steak. And it's hard to argue, right? It's weird. The other part of the movie, for example, the part of the movie where Neo asks, "Are every single of my memories are true?" If you know people with Alzheimer, right? They'll forgive loved one. They'll remember some moments. For example, I was seeing this father and daughter today on not in real life, in TikTok. And on TikTok they were saying, "Do you know who I am?" And the guy said, "No, I don't know who you are. I know you're important to me, but I don't know who you are." And then the daughter said, "Does it bother that I call you dad?" The guy said, "Yes." They called each other by name, and it doesn't matter if if you remember her as a daughter. They share so many memories together. They share so many moments with them. That's more important, you know. It doesn't matter if your steak tastes like steak. If your steak like tastes like steak. Mm. Mm. The thing that matters is very simple. Am I happy? Yes or no? And then you ask yourself the question, what is happiness? Right? I don't know. Is being happy more important than the reason I'm happy? Hmm? I don't know. I don't really know. Hmm. Really good. It's nuts, bro. It's nuts. A movie. I mean, 99. But then every single answer. See, there's something that Morpheus said that haunts you. They're training with Neo. They're training, right? And they're training, and they're training, and they're training. And see, such an amazing movie. And you see Neo that having a hard time breathing. And Morpheus looks at him and say, "You still believe that you're breathing?" The truth behind the Matrix is easy peasy, dude. What's real, what's not. Right? Matrix is intense, bro. Emotional. But there's more than that. There's a lot more than that. It's not what's real, what's not. What do I believe? I can tell you a lie and you believe it. Somebody can tell you the truth and you don't believe it. It's really hard. But the Matrix takes so many good questions. And there's so many concepts of ultimately is sorry. See, I believe in white lie. Like your parents are telling you, hey, know that correctly, Santa Claus is not gonna come for you. Like now, what is this? It's bribing with send a gift. It's lying, right? But then you're teaching your kid to be a good kid. You're teaching your kid to be a decent human being. and that will serve him all his life. So, for example, right, you believe in Santa Claus for the first years of your life. Now, the first 3 years you don't remember shit, but you were lied to for 6 years. But because you were lied to for 6 years, your whole entire life, you're gonna be better. And then it's nuts. Anyway, long enough video. It was really good talk. I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.